I'm Brandon Campbell. I am the Director of Small Business and Inclusion with the Little Rock Regional Chamber, and you're watching Our Story. Today, I have with me Clay Mosley, the founder of Rock City Digital. Thank you for coming in here to meet with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And now your story is always entertaining every time I read it and I see it. But tell us a little bit more about your story and what led to you creating Rock City Digital.
Yeah, so I would explain my working. So I've been working in the real world, I guess, for like 14 years now after graduating college. And so my story, as a lot of people know, is that I am not a very good employee. So I was fired from almost every job I've ever held. And so kind of just to sum it up, I decided that I'm not very employable. And so I decided that, you know what, I think if I'm going to do something successful professionally in my life, it's going to be my own thing. And so in February 2015, that's when I decided to start Rock City Digital. But it's a very I remember the moment when I decided I wanted to do that. And it was from the last job I got fired from, and it was one of those things where I said, okay, I think I want to become a website designer. But my background didn't include website design. Mm-hmm. My education did not include it. And so I applied to every agency in town to try to become a website designer. I didn't even get one interview.
Wow.
And so I decided, you know what, I think the combination of the fact that I was fired from all these jobs, not in my opinion, mm-hmm. Not from my own fault. Mm-hmm. I'm a very hard worker, but I think the fact that I was fired from all these jobs and the fact that I can't control whether I get interviewed or not, I felt like I was in control of my own destiny, I guess, as cheesy as that sounds. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I started it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so a lot of companies, as you know, startups, when they start, they don't make it past the 5-year mark, or, sometimes even like the 1 or 2 year mark. Tell us about some of your fondest memories when you started Rock City Digital, and kind of what kept you moving forward and getting over those periods where kind of like where you don't, every business experience where you don't know if this might be for you, or you don't know if it's going to work, or how it's going to turn out. How did you get through that?
Yeah, so I don't want to speak too soon because Rock City Digital is right around the 4.5 year mark. So when you mentioned the 5 years, Rock City Digital is still very, very strong. But so the very first year, there was a lot of questionable moments, I would say, because I spent that as a freelancer. Okay. So I was by myself, just doing website design. And you know as well as I do as anybody else that the first year is the tough year. Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of moments where I would be. I remember actually one day I was at the grocery store and because in the first year it's a lot of feast and famine but I was at the grocery store one day and I was like, I bought this pack of ramen noodles, and because I was thinking this will be my dinner for the next 30 days, mm-hmm. Just because it was so inexpensive, right? But that was one of the moments where I was questioning whether or not that's what I needed to do, or what, do I need to just go find a job somewhere? But I pushed through it, and eventually I was making more and more money and where I could upgrade my food choices. Mm-hmm. But I would say that was probably the most surreal moment there was, where I had to make a choice, mm-hmm. Whether to move forward or just fall back and get a job. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was a super tough thing. There have been a lot of tough moments mm-hmm. In the last 4.5 years where it's like, that's just part of entrepreneurship and owning a business. It's like sometimes you just want to throw in the towel. Mm-hmm. I would say even so, even when our team was quite large, mm-hmm. and I say large, we were almost 20 people, and there were still times where I'm like, this is tough. But that's just part of entrepreneurship is just to work through it. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to just also just take my hat off to you, even though I don't have a head, and nor do I have a lot of hair. Well, you have the head, but and I'm going to take my hat off to you, especially as an entrepreneur, and knowing that you started this company from the ground up, and in 2 years, being very successful, and 7 figures in revenue after just starting this up in 2015. What do you think is some of the key ingredients that maybe you have as an entrepreneur, or that you had running Rock City Digital?
Yeah, so what's so funny is whenever I first started this, and even more so like when I brought on Kait Hill, my business partner, I would say that we didn't really know what we were doing when running a business. Fortunately, I would say that there was 2 things that we learned in running a business and starting one up and scaling it. One is hiring slow, hiring slow and firing fast, and that's just one. Because like if you hire the wrong people, it costs way more money than what people think it costs. But I would say the single factor of that got us through and allowed us to scale very quickly is being very, very decisive. Yeah. Even though there was a lot of times where we didn't know whether the choices that we were making were the right choices. However, we just made those choices very quickly. We decided, okay, I think this is the way to go. And more importantly, we adapted if we knew that choice was wrong. So if we figured out that, okay, that wasn't the right choice, we stopped it very quickly and we adapted very quickly.
It's interesting that you mentioned Kait Hill, who's your partner with Rock City Digital. Earlier, we sat down with Kait Hill, who's a Small Business Award, Impact Award, under 30-year-old Person of the Year in business. And so we sat down with her, and here's what she had to say.
I actually worked at a corporate company for a couple of years. I was in sales at a digital marketing company. So my whole mission is to make sure that people are happy and inspired with what they do so that they can create amazing work for their clients, and the clients can be happy, and in return, it's full circle, really. We have a team that is absolutely amazing. I don't know how we got so lucky, but every single person on our team is very talented in what they do, and we always make sure they play to their strengths. Our team's very young, and that's not necessarily on purpose, it just happened that way, but those are the people that absolutely love social media, basically grew up with it, so they know it inside and out. And now that Little Rock has all the amenities, we found amazing talent here, but also amazing clients. I had no clue that, first off, we would grow this fast. I had no clue how much of a love I had for inspiring people on the team to bring their whole selves to work. We actually are a very personal team. Everyone loves each other, they get along. They hang out outside of work too, which is awesome. And it's really cool to see the families that are growing because of what we're doing as well. And
so now back here with Clay. Clay, tell us about you and Kait's relationship. Like what was it about Kait that you knew that she was going to be the perfect partner for you in your venture with Rock City Digital?
Yeah, that's a very interesting story because I always tell people that Rock City Digital originated here at the Little Rock Chamber. Okay. Because got a call. I had been on the wait list for the leads group. Okay. For the website design category, and so I think I'd been on the wait list for like a year. Got a call from Melinda saying, "Hey, do you want to come visit?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll come visit." On that very same day, Kait was also visiting on the leads group, and we were competing for that spot. She was working for another digital agency.
Oh, yes.
And so that's, we were, I remember that day too. It was raining, and I had never spent time downtown, and so I was very frustrated with the parking situation. And, it was at lunchtime, so like it's almost impossible to get parking at lunch down here. And so the combination of the rain and the fact that I couldn't find parking, the parking lot was full here, I almost gave up I almost said, I'm not coming to this leads group. And I decided, luckily, like one opened up at the last second. I got it, and so I ended up coming. And that's where I met Kait for the first time. We were competitors. And so we were competing for the spot in the group, and she was actually very interested in what I was doing because she had been contemplating starting her own thing. And so after that meeting, her and I went. We went and I think we got coffee or something. But she basically asked me questions for like 3 hours. And long story short, a few months go by, decided to just hire her, and she later on became a partner.
Oh wow! And she's a fabulous leader as well too, such as yourself, as well as yourself. How would you describe her style versus yours?
Yeah, so I think that was a key as well, because I was looking for, because I was at a time with Roxy Digital, whether or not I was busy enough to where I had to make a choice whether to expand, or if I just wanted to stay busy as a freelancer, and I decided, okay, I think I want to go ahead and expand the business, and so I needed to bring on someone who was kind of the opposite of me, because I'm a big believer in finding the strengths that a person needs to find their strength and just go all in on those strengths. And then just get somebody else to do all the things that you're weak at.
Smart.
Yeah. So me and Kait, we're opposites when it comes to skill sets. And so she's very operational minded, very very organized. I'm not. And so she brought those skill sets on, and so she did those things and I did the other things that she was not good at. So it was a good pairing, and I would say that was probably a big key component to us scaling the business.
Okay. And what are some trends, or what would you say, what are some of your outlooks on the digital media industry and where it is today, and where do you think it's going?
So our industry is it's always evolving. It's always changing. You see it just in the last 10, 15 years, right? Like 15 years ago, social media did not exist at all. Or it was just coming about. Like I think Facebook was coming on like 2005 when you had to be a college student. And so digital media has changed so much exponentially, and it's even changing now. Like right now, we're big in search and social media, and I think we're getting to the point where it's becoming really, really crowded on social media, and it's getting super tough to capture anybody's attention on there. So I think we're about to go into this wave where we are getting into new things. Just a couple of things off the top of my head that I think we're getting into is like things like virtual reality or augmented reality. You see it it's good timing because even Harry Potter came out with the Wizards Unite app on the phone, and that's an augmented reality game. And we also see a big push into voice. So like I would say, don't quote me on this, but I think like around 40% of Google searches are voice search. So it's becoming more popular that way. And so those are the things that I'm really excited about as far as where the industry is going. But it's always changing. It could be different next month. So yeah.
And I'm always curious of innovators like yourself who start these type of digital leading companies here in the Little Rock region. And I just wanted to ask you, why Little Rock? Why did you choose to start your company here and grow it here?
Well, I'll be a straight up answer to that. Straight up honest answer is I was already here. I was already here. However, I will say this though, just being in the industry, and because it would be very easy to say, hey, I need to move my headquarters to San Francisco or Austin. But Little Rock has a really nice pool of talent here. And I'm a big believer, I'm from here, and so I'm a big believer of keeping the talent here. This is a really strong city. I think it has a lot of room to grow, and it has a lot of potential. And so I'm a big advocate for trying to grow Little Rock, especially in this industry, in the tech industry, the marketing industry, and keeping talent here. I think one of the problems that we have is that some of the talent, we lose them to places like San Francisco or Austin. But I think Little Rock is a great place to live, and I think if we can try to keep the talent here, that would be ideal.
And Rock City Digital has done a great job of keeping that talent here, and companies such as yours that help push Little Rock forward is incredible, and it's very important to the region, and also very important to the chamber as well too. And speaking of the chamber, how has being a member of the chamber really helped you as an entrepreneur and also Rock City Digital?
I would say the chamber, again, the origin seed started from here, but it has been equally as important ongoing. I think, one of my things with business is I think business is scalable, especially in our world, is through relationships and connections. And so the Little Rock Chamber has been very, very important to that element of our success, is the connections that I've made through the chamber. Not just with the leads groups, but not just with the events that the chamber puts on, but I also am class 33 of the leadership program. So the leadership program has been very, very, I would say a surprise to me, because there were 49 other people in my class that I would not have met in any other way. And so I would say the biggest thing with the chamber is the connections I've made and the relationships I've made that will last a lifetime.
Now you're here with our story, but now we want to know, what's your next chapter of Clay Mosley, the entrepreneur? What's next for you?
Yeah, so I'm one who doesn't like to. I always like to have new things going on. And I'm always going to have multiple projects going on. So currently, I have two new projects, new companies. One is called Web Ignite, which is I think it's a blue ocean in the world of website design. It's an untapped market where you either have one spectrum or the other when it comes to websites. You either have your very, very inexpensive do-it-yourself website builders, or you have the very expensive custom where you just pay someone to do it. WebIgnite's kind of in the middle, but it's I think I launched it last year. Very successfully, and so I'm very excited to see, like, it has really, really good growth right now. And I haven't even gone full force with it yet. And so I'm excited to see where that goes. And then my other venture is called Brand Lab. It's a online digital course platform, and basically it's so like Rock City Digital is a do-it-for-you type marketing service. Brand Lab is a do-it-with-you. And so it's just a library of digital courses where you have access to and basically teach you everything that Rock City Digital does if you want to do it yourself. So. And how would one get in contact with you on your various ventures that you're working on? So I have a very simple website. It's just claymosley.live. And it's a one-page website, but it has a list of everything I have going on right now, and new projects or things I have done. So that's a very easy way to see what I have going on as of now. Okay.
Well, you all heard it from the man himself, Mr. Clay Mosley, entrepreneur extraordinaire. Thank you all for watching our story. Thank you, Clay, for being here. Until next time.